Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is another Seton's cast. I've taken a break from casting for a little while, but I will do casts more regularly this time, I think. And so I just chose a game from my replay list. Let's first introduce the players. Here we have Brian G. I think his best spot is air, and he also has the best air faction, so he should do fine. Here on beach we have Ukuto, who is a classic Seasons player. He's also Siren. Of course, this was random spawn with random factions, and but Ukuto is almost as Siren as Cynical is, so he got probably his wish. Here on rock for the south side we have MNB as Aeon, one of the strongest naval players throughout the years. He might not be the best naval player anymore. The best, I mean, there is Gala now, who's probably a little stronger, but MNB is still a very tough guy to beat. And yeah, we have here Galactic Fear as front for the bottom team. So here, well, we have Akuto, Brian G, MNB, and Galactic Fear in one team. That's a pretty tough team to beat. So for the top side, we have Foley playing rock. He's a very good player. So he's also Siren. Here on the air spot we have one of the guys with the most Seton's games ever, and this is Mice. He plays this game since 7 years or so, or maybe 6 years, but he's a very long, he's a very seasoned veteran here, and I think his best spot is air, actually. That's the spot where he is kind of competitive in these games, and I think it's a very good match against Brian G here. And on North Beach we have Linelas. Linelas is yeah, a pretty good all-around player. I'm not convinced about his Seton's gameplay yet, but he's definitely not a huge underdog here against MNB, even though yeah. And last we have me up front, Styrion, against Gala. This is as annoying as it could get, because it's usually a very tough matchup. So both Gala and Styrion sending an engineer, and we can see here this should be standard. I always do it if I'm Aeon or Seraphim, either on beach, air or rock. I always go like third, 2 engineers, 3 engineers, and then a scout. It is, I think this little unit here, which is just like whatever 60 mass or so, is so much, even less I think, is worth so much mass on average, because when you give your front player almost clear view, yeah, I think the payoff is huge, especially if you have someone like Gala who will probably do the right stuff. Also, one thing to note, in my casts like half a year ago, I said that this is by far the best position to play the factory with a double adjacency bonus, and also with the engineer, because it will not block your commander if you send it directly up front. It will not be behind the commander at any time. Engineers are slightly faster, so, and back then, I remember I had this discussion with Gala, and Gala places factory like here. I think it was here. Anyway, I think it's nice that I could convince him. You will probably disagree that I convinced him, but I always this is the bad thing about the south spot, that you can have this factory placed in exactly that spot. I think it's just, there is no alternative. So coming up here at minute 2, I'm gonna speed it up a bit. We see no air from the top side yet. We see a bomber by M&B. We also see a bomber by Foley, which is very nice, and another bomber and a scout. Galactic Fear is running his engineer. There's the bomb. That was actually a pretty good bomb. I think there was 4 kills on the first pass. Meanwhile, M&B's bomber. Oh, I missed that. The bomber got shot down. Yeah. Linelas pretty good here. Paid attention and killed the bomber. I think might have gotten 1 kill of an engineer. I'm not sure. Anyway, this bomber has 0 kills. This has 5 kills. This will get another kill. So in terms of early demolition, Foley is doing a great job here, which is exactly what is needed, because the thing is, Gala will usually try to rush. This is his biggest strength up front, and well, you can see he has no engineer left in base and just 1 factory. So Foley like bought me so much time here. I mean, yeah, Gala cannot rush now, and he's totally screwed. So now we see one of the last chunks. One thing to note, my engineer actually made the whole run. I've 2 different turns for the engineer, but this is one of the few times that the engineer takes a full turn without getting killed and actually building a radar here. Galactic Fear's engineer is here. It's also still alive. I think got shot 1 time. There is 1 wreck here and 2 wrecks here. The bombers are still bombing. This one has still 1 kill, the other one got killed. Galactic Fear also lost pigeons. And this is pretty poor work here by Hokuto and M&B. That those bombers got way too many pads. So this is the last chunk of mass. Let's check numbers. Galactic Fear reclaimed 6.5, and it's not so much difference. It's 7k to 6.5 or 6.6, so not that huge of a difference, which is quite surprising to me, because I think my engineer reclaimed quite a lot. Gala is frustrated in chat here. Hokuto says that I'm all the time UEF in mid. I think UEF is the 2nd best faction from mid. It has a strong Tech 2 hover tank, it has the best commander. I think it has the best commander. The Seraphim is probably slightly better in early game, but in later game the UEF commander up front is just the absolute beast. You don't have to remove it actually, because if you have a Tech 3 commander with a commander shield, and you can also have Wrath. So actually, I'm quite a lot into the front fight. I should focus more on the overall game. Foley has taken his island. There are no wreckages left, so it seemed like Hokuto did not go for the island, and M&B secured his island, so both rocks took the island. Foley is doing a naval rush here from the island. This is pretty fast navy. Those frigates idle now, that is not good, he should use them. I think it looked like he stopped them in the middle, and more trouble for Galactic Fear here. This is a very nice job with 2 artilleries and 2 manta. This is pretty annoying for Gala. And now the frigates come in, and Hokuto realized that he has a frigate out too, but of course this is a lot more. The bomber will kill. There are some bombers now by Hokuto, but of course this is rather late. We see more. We see bombers and scouts per star. You should always have an air factory up front. You cannot have it by like 5 minutes, but by like 10 minutes I think an air factory should be standard for the front player. You want scouts and you want some interceptors maybe for yourself, but at least you want to scout. Giving Gala more, another 2 engineers killed. Meanwhile, Hokuto has a Tech 2 commander on beach to prevent basically the Tech 1 naval rush rather effective. He is getting bombed. He should invest into Tech 1A, or he needs more build power on his air factories. He actually gave 4 pigeons to Gala to prevent him from power stalling so hard. However, M&B and there are actually like 8 interceptors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the bomber is getting 6 kills. I think this is the 3rd pass. But also to note, Gala has no radar, not at all here, so it's always harder when you do not have a radar in your base. Hokuto has a radar, but he's still getting bombed. He has a Tech 1AA now. This bomber has 5 kills. This has 22 kills, oh my god. This is just insane. 4 kills. Foley totally dominating here. I do not think there is a lot of action in the other ocean. There are also bombers coming in for Linelas. This was 2 pretty good bombers, 6 kills and 8 kills. This is pretty good bombers. Hokuto has trouble getting navy production. He needs to put like 3 Tech 1 top launchers here, or at best place them somewhere here, so if he wants, Foley wants to go and kill the build power of the frigates, he needs to draw the fire from the Tech 2 PD2, so ideally I would place a top launcher here somewhere, so with that many frigates it might even be useful to get Tech 2 top launcher after a couple of Tech 1s. More bombers for Linelas, 6 kills again. I do not know, M&B usually is paying a lot of attention, but this time it seems he's a little lazy. Now I got the tactical missile launcher, and we already see one dead max. Galactic Fear is trying to get the TMDs up. He has some up front, that's why I walked into the water. We have 11:29 to note, 0 ASF. This is pretty late for both air players. Another dead max. Of course, this is really painful for Gala. Mice still take 2. Oh yes, he is. It's 12 minutes. Mice does not even have a tech 3 F factory. And Brian G is making ASF instead of bombers. They're like furious, complaining about that fact. Now Hokuto does the right thing, making torp launchers. Would recommend some more, maybe 2 more. There's a couple of frigates and then we should directly go tech 2 and maybe 2 subs. Tech 2 subs. Tech 2 subs are very bad against Cyber Navy, but they're good against frigates. He can basically force all those frigates to go back until he has a destroyer. Of course, Foley has a destroyer already. So now, another dead max here. It seems like there's one destroyer shooting front, but there's a Tech 2 shield, and actually this position is not of high value because Gala has basically 0 units. I remember trying to kill a navy yard, and now the commander is shooting this max. In terms of economy, yeah, of course Gala has the lowest economy. He got like, yeah, screwed by Foley. Linelas has 89 mass income. Hokuto actually down to 68. MNB is stalling power. Foley just finished RAS. Brian G has by far the best economy here, followed by Mice. Actually, it's pretty close. It was probably just some reclaim. Brian G looks like he's ahead. Of course, Mice was very late with his ASF. Foley is the only other player that has RAS at the moment. And has a very good economy compared to Hokuto, who is at 60 mass income, Foley at 125. So Hokuto went for the sub here. I think that was a pretty good decision, even though there is a destroyer incoming. He should remove the sub, and it seems like he does. Meanwhile, there's commander here. Killed this max, and he killed this Tech 2 pigeon with Dwarf there a second ago, and he's now DMLing the other Tech 2 pigeon. There is not much at this point that Gala can do. He's basically just trying to get his economy back up. He's just 1 factory, so he cannot spam any units. Another max lost for Hokuto. Hokuto now does make TML, TMD, but of course Foley has a Tech 2 destroyer, which means trouble for Hokuto. Another max getting shot. There is Brian G. I mean, he has so much more ASF. I don't know exact numbers we can check, but he has 20 in this area, and Mice has 9. So I think it would be, he must save Hokuto now. There is absolutely nothing Gala can do at the moment, so well, maybe he could put all his build power on a Tech 2 air factory and try to save Hokuto here, but I think it's really up to Brian G. There is really no reason he the Tech 3 Torp must actually have been out when this destroyer arrived here. He must have killed it to keep even if he loses air here, oh, I mean, he doesn't because he has such a huge lead. But even if he were, it wouldn't matter because when you lose Navy at 14 minutes into the game, this bad, with already a ruined economy, there's absolutely no comeback. So it is irrelevant if you have air control afterward. I don't think the lead can be that huge later on to save a whole Navy loss at 14 minutes. So I think YNG must make it Tech 3 torpedo bomber. Instead he pauses his air factory. So, well. MNB says Brian G asks how is Raz and MNB says we can quit him, and I think he's right. This commander has 17 kills. I do not think it killed the unit early on, so this is all on maxes and mass storages and the tech 2 pigeons. So Hokuto is retreating, he has given up Navy, and there is not much hope. Actually it looks like Mice is slowly getting almost equal ASF force. The commander is still unsolved, you can see. I use my Tech 1 bombers against the good power here by Hokuto. It's pretty annoying in these situations. And there is a cruiser. Now Brian G has Tech 2 torpedo bombers, but they must have been there a little earlier. Same is true for Gala. I think now it is a little late, even though it's just one cruiser, and if Brian G would fight air, which he definitely should, he should just force Mice into an air fight now, just attack the ASF. Actually he should have done that when he had such a huge lead, because when you fight air after you build your torps, the other player has time where you build the torps to make ASF and your lead shrinks. So you should always search for the air fight and then make the torps, ideally. Of course this is only true when you have a lead. Now he's fighting over one cruiser. Looks actually quite good for Brian G. So yeah, here's a little hope, but I think this is already a lot of Navy here. The TML commander, 31 kills now. I TML all those. This one. I mean, this base is completely gone. So Gala is trying to take 2 gunships now. I mean, they have air control, but I think it will be tough. 42 kills on the commander. Those were 2 Tech 3 maxes that I already killed, and there was another Tech 3 max going now. I think there is really nothing. The other Navy is nothing is happening. MMB played a strange game. I don't know why, what he did, but he decided to go for an eco build probably. Now MNB throws in the tower, and Hokuto gives up too, and Galactic Fear gives up, and yeah, this was a very nice 20-minute Seton's clutch game. Actually, one thing to notice, those kinder, or those top level Setons, which I would count this one, even though there were 2 lower ranked players in. I think this is still a lot of skill in this game. When I look at the average game time from like half a year ago and now, I think it decreased a lot. A lot of games are decided in like 20 minutes or so. the game got much more aggressive, and small edges are pushed way more than it was some time ago, when those total equal builds were predominant. I think those builds are not that often used, or at least there is almost always someone trying something and try to win or break the game rather early. And the success rate is quite high, so um, I think this is very good for the game, because a lot of people think that uh, the Seton's games are always like 2-hour games that end in a paragraph. There are some of those games, but not all, or actually very few. Um, Sometimes there are games where um, like both rock players win and air is kind of even, and they end very late after everyone tried to win another wave, and then someone sees we are losing, whatever, both sees or what, and try to win with the game ender, like the last escape. And those games also take a while, but yeah, overall I think the average game time has decreased a lot. I think it is also due to, well, pretty good skill level overall, which makes it fun to play. So I hope you enjoyed the rather short Seton's cast this time, but I think it was a pretty good game. I think Foley's early bomber uh, basically decided the game, because they allowed me to like skyrocket. You can see I have like basically almost the biggest economy in the game as front player, here at 20 minutes. And Galactic Fear with those early bombs was totally handcuffed, and I could use that very powerful TMI commander to the maximum. I'm actually not sure. I mean, this did really huge damage, but I think Hokuto might have lost the Navy quite, or Foley might have won even without me here in this case. But anyway, it's nice when all the maxes are gone. It takes away a lot of possibilities. Yeah, there was basically a no fight pact on the left side and on the air spot. So this game, yeah, was decided on the right side, and if I had to pick one player who won the game, it was Foley. It's quite. I mean, I think when you have a front player like me versus Gala, the best thing you can do is bomb Gala, make him like do nothing for a certain time, because when I have free hands, yeah, that's very good. Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching. Goodbye.